Robin was just pointing out, the stage is set for the big finale, and I was just taking a look at our very own Mr. Gavaskar wearing the cowboy Australian.
So dapper. I couldn't resist saying, like, look at that, that's so cool.
We'll try and get those visuals up on our screen very, very shortly. But before that, let's talk about the man in charge of the Indian team, Rohit Sharma. Knives were out for him before that as captain because 2 failed attempts at an ICC trophy at the T20 World Cup, followed by the WTC final. But see how Rohit Sharma has turned things around, not just as a batter, but as a captain too. Take a look.
This is the courtyard of the Swami Vivekananda International School in Borivali, Mumbai. About 24 years ago from this day, at the age of 12 years old comes along a boy who goes by the name of Rohit Gurunath Sharma. And his, as we now know, was no ordinary story. When cricket coach Dinesh Ladd spotted Rohit, his trained eye understood that there was something different about this boy. He then asked Rohit's guardians to admit him into this school because the cricket facilities here were good. The problem was that the school fees were a hefty 25 rupees. The family flatly refused, saying they could not pay such fees. But Coach Ladd couldn't leave that child and let his talent go to waste.
उन्होंने कहा कि भाई रोहित शर्मा आप इसी स्कूल में पढ़ेंगे और उन्होंने रिक्वेस्ट करी, इल्तिजा करी डायरेक्टर साहब से, कहा कि इस लड़के को स्कॉलरशिप दी जाए.
जब मैंने उसको स्कूल के लिए जब भी अपॉइंट किया, यानी स्कूल में उसका एडमिशन करवाया था, उस साल मैंने उसे एज एन बॉलर देखा था, एज एन ऑफ स्पिन बॉलर. बट एज एन बॉलर देखने के
फीस ली थी आपने उस वक्त?
हाँ, फीस तो नहीं ली थी. फीस तो मैंने उसे फ्रीशिप दिलाई थी उस वक्त. मुझे पता है कि पहला स्कॉलरशिप दिलाई थी. प्रैक्टिस के लिए मैं आ रहा था तो एक गेट से मैं एक लड़का देखा, एक लड़का नॉक कर रहा है सीधे बल्ले से. तो बोला अरे इतना अच्छा नॉकिंग करने वाला, एंटर करने के बाद देखा तो रोहित था. बोला तू बैटिंग करता है? बोला हाँ सर. कुछ बोला नहीं. तो इसके बाद मैंने उसे कुछ 7-8 नंबर पे बैटिंग दिलाई नेट्स पे. और उसके बाद जब स्कूल की मैच आई, पहली मैच में मैंने उसे कहा तू ओपन करेगा. बहुत खुश हो गया. ओपन का नाम सुनते ही हाँ सर मैं करता हूँ. मैंने ओपन को भेजा और उस मैच में उसे 140 रन की पारी खेली. और वहां से जो रोहित उभरता हुआ आज तक उसने अनस्टॉपेबल है.
Born on 30th April 1987 in Nagpur, Rohit's childhood was spent in poverty. There was such a lack of basic necessities at his home that his grandparents and uncle were the ones who essentially raised him. His childhood was spent at his uncle's house in Borivali. Every weekend, Rohit used to go to Dombivli to spend time with his parents. Former Indian captain Dilip Vengsarkar was the first to notice Rohit, who had made a huge impact in school cricket. Vengsarkar also gave him a huge break, but an inexperienced Rohit made a mistake in that very first break.
वो आया, लेकिन वो आया तो उसको लगा कि वो मैच खेलेगा नहीं, तो फीडबैक लाया नहीं उसने. तो हमारे कोच चंद्रकांत पंडित थे, तो मैंने उनको बोला कि 17 years old, मेरे को उसको डांटना मत था. तो उसको आराम से लेना, लेकिन बिकॉज ही इज यंग, ही डजंट नो. तो फिर उसके बाद जो उसे बैटिंग की, आई थिंक ही प्लेड ब्रिलियंटली.
Rohit's path to the top was full of ups and downs, but his talent was such that it could not be denied, even if it took a while for him to fulfill his potential. Rohit's international career only took off in 2013 when he started opening. Before that, the talent that had come to define him was in danger of becoming an albatross around his neck as he struggled to find the consistency to match his ability. It is worth noting that he was a part of the T20 World Cup winning side in 2007, but missed out on the 2011 ODI World Cup winning team. Yet despite the many missteps that came along with the undeniable highs, Rohit was ably backed, and the result of that long rope given all those years ago is now there for all to see.
Okay, the man from Borivali, nonchalant that you see him off the field, but when it is, stuff to be dealt with on the ground, he does it with full seriousness and with a lot of efficiency that we've seen. In terms of Robin, if you were to see the top run getters, he may not be 1 or 2, but the kind of impact that Rohit's had in this World Cup as a batter?
Oh man, I would say, I'm surprised he's not there in that ICC World Cup 11, and someone announced
They
that.
put David Warner that.
Yeah. Well, for
So
me, I
Cricket
think
Australia had picked it, so
correct.
we...
So when I saw that it was Fox on Fox channel, so I was like, okay, yeah, this makes sense. This is more an Australian thing, but I think the kind of impact he's had on this World Cup, just on the World Cup, not just the Indian team, just on the World Cup, just the way he's approached his batting. I think there's a lot of clarity. I was listening to his press conference yesterday, and it was a very nice question asked about how does he approach his batting. You know, there was this thought process that he wants to be uber aggressive, but how has he found that balance right now? So he mentioned something about, you know, if I come off and if I play well, there's an approach for the next game. If I don't play well and I don't come off in that particular game, there's another approach for that. So you can tell that he's gone into depth with that. Okay. And that's only possible if you stay with something long enough, is when you go a couple of layers lower and then find a little niche for yourself within that space. And I think he's found that space. And I think in being in that space, he's found his second wind as a batter within his career. Because every batter, I think, through his career will go through a phase where he's not going to score runs. And no matter what he tries, and you need to have patience with that. If he's a good enough player, you have patience with that player, they find their second wind, and then they go on and on. And I think that's exactly what's happened with Rohit. Love the way he's opening the batting for India, and I think it's going to change the way people are going to open batting around the world in the future.
Oh, wow. Okay, so he's setting a benchmark, as Robin is pointing out, for all other opening batters when it comes to the ODI format. We're just getting news. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has sent his wishes to the Indian team. Let's listen in.
अच्छा, आज क्रिकेट का इतना बड़ा जलसा हो रहा है, पूरी दुनिया की नजर हमारी तरफ है. आप एक काम करोगे? आपका मोबाइल फोन निकालिए, उसकी फ्लैश लाइट चालू कीजिए और भारत की टीम को शुभकामनाएं दीजिए. भारत माता की. अपनी फ्लैश लाइट चलाइए सब लोग. भारत माता की. भारत माता की. हर एक के मोबाइल की फ्लैश लाइट हमारे देश की टीम को विजेता बनाने के लिए शुभकामनाएं. भारत माता की. भारत माता की. भारत माता की.